We are now on the record. My name is Chris Coughlin, and I'm a videographer representing Gulco Litigation Services. Today's date is April 12, 2018, and the time is 9:36 a.m. This video deposition is being held in Providence, Rhode Island, in the matter of Deborah Pletz, individually and on behalf of the estate of Gregory Pletz, deceased, plaintiffs versus National Collegiate Athletic Association, defendant, in the District Court of Dallas County, Texas, 95th Judicial District, cause number DC-17-00676. The deponent is Dr. David EGILMAN. Will counsel please identify yourselves and state whom you represent?
Gene Egdor for the plaintiffs.
Stefan Salonitas for the defendant.
All others present will appear on the stenographic record. The court reporter is Ed Vorallo, and he will now swear in the witness.
Doctor, if you'll raise your right hand, please. You swear the testimony you're about to give today in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please begin.
Dr. Eagleman. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes.
We haven't met before. My name is Stefan Salonitas. I represent the NCAA. Please state your name for the record.
David Eagleman.
I take it you've been deposed before, correct?
Yes.
So I won't go through the whole spiel. My only request will be if you want to take a break, that you answer whatever questions pending before we take the break. Is that fair?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you want to take a break, just let me know. I'll just ask that you answer whatever questions pending. What have you done to prepare for today's deposition?
Well, I guess that would be. You want the short answer or the long answer?
Start with the short one.
Short answer is I reviewed documents and prepared materials, wrote a report.
After you wrote the report, did you do anything to prepare for today? Did you review the report, meet with anybody?
Okay, which one of those four questions do you want me to answer?
After you wrote the report, did you review it in preparation for today's deposition?
Yes.
When did you review it?
Many times. I don't recall the dates.
Did you, after you wrote the report, did you meet with anybody in preparation for today's deposition?
Yes.
Who did you meet with?
Mr. Egdorf.
When did you meet with Mr. Egdorf?
I think we had dinner Tuesday night and yesterday.
You had dinner yesterday, or you met with him yesterday?
Both.
When you had dinner with Mr. Egdorf on Tuesday, did you discuss this case?
Sure.
Did you discuss your opinions in this case?
I don't think so.
Did you discuss the basis for your opinions in this case?
I don't think so. It's possible I discussed some.
Do you recall anything in particular that you and Mr. Egdorf discussed?
Oh, yes.
What's something that you recall discussing with him?
Well, there was a large dispute about whether the restaurant should have been that one or the Sienna across the street. And particularly, I preferred the Sienna, but one of my staff people wanted to go to Andolino's. And we also then discussed the variety of things on the menu. We had to choose what we were going to have. And I wanted to get the octopus, but as an appetizer. But some of my staff didn't want the octopus, so we got calamari instead. He wanted to get two of the pepper stuffed peppers. But I thought one would be sufficient. And it turned out that later on, when it was served, it was just a large, really. I mean, there was so much that even we couldn't finish it. So some of the students got to take it home to feed their roommates. Then we discussed the veal chops, and because I thought that in Little Italy here, veal chop is definitely the kind of classic item you want to get, and I'm trying to lose weight, so I got the grilled fish, and we talked about that a bit, well, we talked about my class and the students and why the students had taken my class. Both of them took it more or less for the same reasons, ironically enough. One of them took it because she just wanted to take a public health course, and we asked why she picked my course, and because she said it looked a little different, so she took it. And I can't remember why the other student picked mine, but there was just this kind of a sampler for them of a public health course. I think they also wanted a seminar. My class is seminar, so I think wanted a small class, not a lecture class. Well, we talked about what time this was going to be, and preparation of materials, what we were going to bring, what we had already brought. And I may have laid out broadly, discussed how little the NCAA had done over the years to do what they had been formed to do, which was to protect football players, and how ironic that was. And then I think we probably laid out. I probably laid out some of the general issues related to that. So I would have discussed in the first publications around football injuries, deaths, and concussions started around 1890s. There was press coverage, and we talked about that there was a threat to the industry being removed or eliminated. The industry being the money generated from the revenues and from football, and so that the NCAA Roosevelt called that meeting because Roosevelt wanted to protect football, somehow conflating playing football with masculinity or machismo. And Elliott at Harvard wanted to eliminate football, and he wanted to intervene. His kid was at Harvard at the time. He wanted to intervene to block the overwhelming public sentiment at the time to actually eliminate football. And the colleges didn't want that to happen because they got revenue from football and prestige, which also brought them revenue from football. So we talked about how it was all about the money, keeping football, and how the NCAA was basically a fig leaf to cover the problem, not do anything, but make it appear that something was happening so that the game could continue. And I think I discussed, a metaphor there, which was like, it was like the house was infested with termites. And people said, well, this is before pesticides, you know? So and some people were saying, well, you gotta isolate that house because there's termites. You can see the termites in the wood. And so the NCAA was essentially just throwing a carpet on the termites. And termites, of course, that didn't stop the termites, but people couldn't see the termites. And so the termites could continue to do their destruction as football continued to do its destruction to students' minds and bodies, of course, not just concussion injuries or other serious injuries that are occurring. So when the NCAA set itself up, they passed a few minor rules. I don't think we discussed the specifics of those rules, but it was mostly, I think there were 3 things about scoring plays. Oh yeah, there was a complaint in the NCAA, I think we talked about this, that the mass plays became eliminated, and that was because the mass plays turned out not to be that interesting. So the motive for getting rid of the mass plays wasn't really protecting health and safety, it was to make the game more interesting, to increase attendance, which would increase revenue. And as a result of those rule changes, as you would expect, since there was no intent, they weren't designed to eliminate concussions or injuries, they were just really intent to hide the problem from the public and make the sport more, quote, entertaining to increase revenue. Lo and behold, over the next 2 or 3 years, surprise, surprise, more people got concussions and more people died than even before the NCAA was formed to create this cover, this fig leaf over the problem. So
I'm not going to get an opportunity to ask another
excuse
question.
me, you're interrupting my question. My answer to your question. You asked me what we discussed. That is, excuse me. I believe you asked me
Let him finish.
you asked me what we discussed. Okay?
That's
I'm
about the
telling
basis.
you what we discussed. All right?
Asked about the basis. I think you're getting into opinions,
Stefan?
but I'll let you finish.
You can do whatever you want, but the
understand.
question was, excuse me, where's the live note? It's supposed to be live note. No live note?
I don't have it, but we can, I don't know, can we set it up later or no?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Well, why don't we take a break? I want live note. Because we're going to have this problem with the questions, and I'll continue my answer after that.
Why don't we take a break while we set that up?
Going off the record, the time is
And then Doctor,
9:49.
and Doctor,